chapter 15. And after the message today, we've got something for our mothers today. Something maybe a little different than what most Mother's Day services we've been to. I've always, Mother get a pen or something or whatever. We've got something a little different this morning we want to do. It's copy different. Different for children. I've got agreement around the house. But I want to read here just a little bit where Jesus encountered a woman, a mother. There's much that we can learn from this mother. She was worthy to be called mother. Worthy. She needed help that day. She came and she had a daughter that was demon-possessed. And this mother refused. She refused to take no for an answer. She refused to accept that fate. And she came to the source of help. Now, Jesus here, when He approached her, when He spoke to her, somewhat of His response was intended somewhat to test the faith of this mother. And her great faith resulted in the healing of her child. She truly was worthy to be called mother. Truly worthy. Matthew chapter 15, starting at verse 21. Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto Him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But He answered her not a word. And His disciples came and besought Him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But He answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped Him, saying, Lord, help me. But He answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. And she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Worthy to be called mother. This woman came, a Canaanite, a mother. She shows us some things in here. First of all, she came to the right person. What a truth, an example. She came to the right person. She went to Jesus. And she knew if she just got there, that He would answer her prayer somehow. She had faith that He would move for her. She had a daughter that she loved, a daughter that was vexed with the devil, a daughter that was demon-possessed. And this mother who loved her child beyond measure said, if I can just go, if I can get there. She had the faith that she spoke to Jesus that something would change, something would happen and change the life of her daughter. She went to the right person. She went to Him. And she spoke, Behold, have mercy, Lord, thou son of David, and my daughter. Have mercy on us. She went to the right person. Secondly, this mother could have been overcome by discouragement. How many would encounter the disciples who said, Hey, she cries after Jesus, send her away. She's not one of us. Send her away. We don't want to listen to this. How many would have been discouraged and would have turned their back? But she would not be discouraged even when Jesus did not respond to her cry for mercy. She was not discouraged. What an example. Many times folks get a little bit discouraged in what they turn. They fall by the wayside. They turn away and say, God's not answering. He's not listening. I might as well just stop asking. I might as well just stop praying because God's not going to move for me. But this lady who was worthy to be called mother would not accept that. I think of the sacrifices that mothers make. The sacrifices that many mothers have done through the years. And you mothers think about the things that you've done for your children. The many times when you've had to jump through the hoop, if you will, to make something happen for your kids. I think back to my childhood and think about the things that my mother did for me. The times that she provided for me when she sacrificed for me. Just like this mother in the Bible here who was going and seeking Jesus for her daughter. She made a sacrifice. I don't remember at the time exactly the way it was, but later I heard my daddy talk about this. I was about 5 or 6 years old. My brother was about a year, 4 or 5 months behind me. So he would have been 4 or 5, whether we were just little kids. My daddy fell and broke his back. My daddy couldn't work. This was back in the 60s, and my mother stayed home and raised her kids. And things got tight at our house. We didn't have any income. We didn't have any money. My aunt lived up the road, or up the street from us. But I remember my daddy saying later that one morning my mother got up and she had one egg in the refrigerator. And she fried that egg up and cut it up and gave me half and give my brother. And my mother found a way to feed her kids. When I was just a little, and I had no idea. I was just a baby. I was just 5, 6 years old. But my mother made a sacrifice for me. My mother found a way. And many of you probably can think back to stories like that when you were growing up and how your mother did whatever she had to do. Worked in the garden, cold, whatever, to feed the kids. But didn't take discouragement and didn't turn away. Those are mothers that are worthy to be called that. And I think back in my life to my mother's sisters were like mothers to me. Portions of my life, I think about second mothers that I had. Part of my life. When I was younger, we lived in Tennessee. My Aunt Irene lived up the street from us. And that was my second mother. She took me places and did things. She took me bowling. First time I ever went bowling. That somehow sticks in my mind. My Aunt Irene was a good bowler. And she'd take me to places, took me to Bible school plenty of times, took me to Little League baseball games when my mother and daddy was singing and had to be gone. My aunt would let me stay with her, take me to ball.